Welcome to the Media Box. Yevheniia KRAVCHUK and Valentina GRIPPO here to talk about a PACE side event on Ukrainian journalists detained in Russia. Tell us about some of the cases we heard about.
Well, first of all, I was really happy that ALDE Group could co-sponsor this event, and we were able to bring some guests from Ukraine, and they told us a very touching testimonies. It was the first time when I saw members of the assembly crying when they heard these testimonies about how Ukrainian journalists are being treated, tortured, beaten up to, confess on something they never did or whatever. It was very important that the side event was attended by the president of PACE, Theodoros Rousopoulos, who is a journalist himself for 20 years. And I think he spoke from his heart. And also General Secretary-elect, Alain Berset. So we hope he will put the safety of journalists on his agenda as well. But to the case and the problem, we have around 30 journalists who are detained, both on occupied territories of Ukraine and also in the mainland Russia. The problem is that there should not be civilian hostages. The prisoners of war, they have, the rights written in conventions, but no aggressor can take civilians and put them into prison because they just want it. So we lack some instruments from international organizations, from the Red Cross, how to get them out. And it's very important that in Ukrainian parliament, we just passed a resolution asking international organizations to put this topic on the agenda. And the first organization that replied and did this side event is PACE. So I'm really thankful for the Parliamentary Assembly of Council of Europe.
And Valentina, what is PACE's role in terms of documenting, monitoring, pressuring, etc.?
Well, from today we have a new path that we are following, because yesterday we launched a motion for a resolution on that, that should try to convince member states that this is an issue not only of conflict, not only of course for the warring situation in Ukraine in general, but a warring for the freedom of information. Indeed, what is happening in Russia is quite different from whatever we have seen before. History reminds us of thousands of journalists who have lost their life to tell the truth from war. However, nowadays the journalists are used, are deported, are tortured, sometimes they die, in order to influence the international opinion, to limit the freedom of information. It happened just yesterday that Moscow blocked the access to more than 82 free international press in order to tell what is happening, what is really happening during the war there. So we have two different issues that we will that we need to address as PACE, which is, of course, the human rights of those 30 journalists that are detained, but also the freedom of information, freedom of the press, who also is a human right of all the European citizens.
Yevheniia, anything else you'd like to add about what you want in terms of the contents for that motion for a resolution?
Well, I think it's also the recognition of the job that these journalists did. And I think it's also a very interesting outcome of this side event, because when, for example, a wife of Vladislav Yesepenko, the detained journalist in Crimea, he's in prison since 2021, before the full-scale invasion, but Crimea is annexed since 2014, and he chose deliberately to work in occupied Crimea to give the truth. He knew it was very dangerous. So the least we can do, at least raise awareness about these issues, so his work would not be, just forgotten. Another journalist we talked about was Dmitro Khilyuk. He was detained in 2022. He was just taken from his house in March 2022 in Kyiv region when Russians came. And we know for sure that Russians had the lists who they should target first. Pro-Ukrainian activists, journalists among them. So having a press or having, a card saying that you are press is actually not something that saves you. It's something that puts you in danger because Russia wants to take out anyone who will be speaking truth and speaking about the war crimes and everything.
Valentina KRAVCHUK and Valentina GRIPPO, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.